What you doing?
Hey, we're doing it. We're doing it. How you doing today?
Oh my goodness, I'm like still grabbing all my stuff out because I got a little delayed. I had client stuff that came up, so I'm like pulling all my stuff out. But I'm like,
I know. I know we said appetizers, and I know we said Appletini. I remember the Appletini for the show, but I couldn't remember for the life of me. So I texted you today to go. Oh, wait a minute, what were we eating tonight? I don't remember the food.
appetizers.
So yeah, appetizers. So of course, I was able to pull stuff together that I have in my freezer. You know what I mean? I was able to pull because I always have soft pretzels in my freezer. Always got frozen shrimp that I can thaw out. And I got something. I bet you. I don't know if you've had these. All right, it's a Polish dish, Polish Russian pierogies.
Oh, I love pierogies. Oh my goodness, so yummy.
So basically, because I can do 3 of them real quick. You know what I mean? By boiling them and then throw them in a frying pan with some onions. I don't know. I chopped up 2 slices of an onion and some butter and threw it in the pan 20 minutes ago. Right, and threw them in there. All right, some salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic salt onto them. And they'll be ready to go.
Love it. We always need snacks around the house.
Yeah.
Well, what I had was some Planters nuts and diamond nuts. I also had these little pretzels with pecans. So I have those. Of course, shrimp, which I'm going to put over cucumber.
Oh, you know, I sliced up the cucumber I had for lunch.
And then some cheese. So, oh, and of course, I had some Planters cashew, cinnamon, and brown sugar as an additional option. And this was an interesting, of course, pretzels. I always keep my pretzels, you know, in mason jars. But I found these naturally flavored chips. So they have an interesting flavor. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure them out. I can't say I love them. I can't say I don't like them. I'm just in that mode of I'm trying to decide, do I like the Guinness chips or not? So I'm not sure.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm getting all my little stuff out since I was a little delayed, you know, trying to make them all look all pretty.
Yeah.
Because you got to make things look pretty because that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's making everything look nice.
Let's see what's coming up. Okay. Still getting people calling me.
So sometimes y'all get to see us prep stuff, which is not a bad thing. That's kind of part of the fun so that you know some of the things that we do and how we do them.
Yeah. So then oh yeah. Hey man, it's Robert. Robert, when you throw me for a loop every time, and I just last week was the first time we've seen you again in a while. But anyway, so I Robert, thanks for joining in today. Our show today, you know, it was the Appletini, which I know you've got a whole history of Appletini and everything going on. But I think someone's at my front door.
Of course. They got to come up at this inopportune time because that's the way it is when I get clients calling me and then it's my fault for taking the call when I'm like, okay, I should have answered that call because I knew I needed to prep and got thrown off a little bit. So this particular recipe with the cucumber and the avocado and shrimp, it was supposed to be Cajun style for the shrimp, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what I'm going to do with the shrimpies, which was just boil them quickly. And then I figured I'm going to put some tahini on top because that's always yummy. And lemon. So I got my freshly squeezed lemon because I thought, you know what? This is going to go with the Appletini since there is lemon in the Appletini. Now, you're probably wondering about the history of the Appletini.
Yes, I was wondering about the history of the Appletini.
And then I came up with a lot of information, more than I'm sure you anticipated. But yet, not surprising that I find out things. So the Appletini was originally the Adam's apple is what it was called, because it was created at a club in Los Angeles called Lola's. Now, I looked up, I tried to find Mr. Adams' last name, but I came up fruitless. No, come on. Fruitless because the fruit, oh, come on. That was supposed to be a funny. No, I guess I don't pull off the dad jokes all that great.
Anyway.
It is Adam Karsten. So that is the name of the bartender that first came up with the Adam's apple. Now, that's not actually a true statement. He reinvented it, if you will. Originally, it was back in July 1972. There was an edition of Playboy magazine that Smirnoff placed a prominent ad on the inside cover of a drink called the Adam's apple. Okay. And the basic recipe was a slug of Smirnoff to a glass of orange juice. Or excuse me, not orange juice, apple juice. So take the apple juice, dump some Smirnoff in there. And that was their ad. Now, some sophisticated stuff back then, I will have to say, but so that's originally. Now, the main thing was they didn't expect people to actually do anything with it. Their main thing was get the Smirnoff name out there. So,
are you even using Smirnoff tonight?
I'm not using Smirnoff. No. Now,
I don't think I have Smirnoff vodka in my house.
I don't either. Actually, I think I have the Smirnoff whipped cream or vanilla, one of the two, because that was the only brand that I could find. But so what they wanted.
One today.
Oh, I almost went out to get that one.
Apple.
Yeah, I've heard that one is really good, and I did not get it. I will tell you what I'm going to be doing in a second. But Smirnoff originally wanted their vodka to take off like the Moscow Mule, vodka and ginger beer back in the 40s, so they wanted the Smirnoff name to be in front of it. But it wasn't until the weekend of July 4th of 1997 where it was not really the bartender. The bartender is the one that came up with it, but it was the owner, Lauren Dunsworth, that the history is very similar to the Moscow Mule, where they were trying to get rid of vodka and ginger beer that wasn't moving. So Lauren wanted to get rid of the Kettle One and the apple schnapps that they had because neither one of them were selling. So then Adam Karsten, he came up with combining them and then said, you know what? This is the Adam's apple. So he reinvented it, if you will, and it started to take off. So then they had to buy the stuff. So the stuff they were trying to get rid of, all of a sudden, it became very popular with the chic people, and they wanted to try something new. Now, mind you, a lot of people were scoffing the purists that it's like, no, if it's vodka or gin or vermouth with a lemon twist, or they're like, that's a martini, and calling it because it changed names after the Adam's apple. It then changed names. It went to the Adam's apple martini to then making it to the apple martini, to then the Appletini. So it kind of changed names, but it was this one drink that really made Lola's Club very popular. They had been open for 1 year since 1996, and all of a sudden it became this popular place to be because a lot of people from Hollywood, the celebrities, wanted to try this new drink, dine in, and just make it very glamorous. Then it started to come up in TV shows and movies, and then other bartenders started to experiment with it. But really, this is what helped Lola become popular until they closed in 2013. So they've been closed for 11 years now. But they started something that really pushed it, that Smirnoff in Playboy magazine could not get it through. But if you add cinnamon to the Appletini, then that makes it a cinnamon-tini, which really makes it taste like an apple pie. So that's a little bit of the history. I'm going to finish making this, and then I'm going to give you a little bit more information on that.
I made mine here. All right. I've got the ingredients. I went off of just a basic, I think it was a Beautiful Mess website that I found in my recipe tonight.
Okay.
And it called for very simple ingredients, which I like when things are simple. The only difference I twisted on mine was it said 1.5 ounces of vodka. I went with the citric apple vodka.
Okay.
As opposed to, and I will try a second one with some of my Crater Lake that's left.
Okay.
I did go to the place. I did go to and get some more schnapps, which I swore I would never do in this house again.
I know. I'm surprised.
Oh, but anyway, and then I realized I didn't have apple juice, so I picked up a little bit of Minute Maid apple juice. Of course, I've got lemon juice as always in the house. All right, and just those ingredients and shake it up. It did call for, a graining apple slice, but I don't have any graining apples. I have these. I don't want to go if these are Macintosh. I don't even know. But anyway, I'm going to make one of them my garnishes tonight, like that.
There you go. So you can use the original, of course, for apple schnapps, but you also can use apple liqueur, apple brandy, sour mixes. So you can go beyond what you want. Now, one of the things, and where did it go? I know so one of the things that I did was that I decided, you know what, instead of plain old apple juice, I got Martinelli's.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that I had in my bar was this simple syrup, wood-fired apple.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what, I got to try it with that. And I do have my Granny Smith apple. That I did get because I figured that was kind of important to have. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to be as close to it as possible without using the schnapps, because, how often I figure, certain schnapps you might be able to use, others not as much. And I thought, I don't know that this would be one that I would use much of the schnapps, the apple schnapps. So I opted to hold off on buying the apple schnapps. So
that is a art apple drink.
Yeah. So what apple schnapps is, y'all, so that you know the apple schnapps. Apple schnapps is a liqueur, and it's known for its sweet, it's crispy, it's fruity, it's reminiscent of fresh apples. And it is typically a clear color. And then it has the essence of apples and sugary syrup base, which then gives you this flavorful alcohol content that's between 15 to 40% alcohol by volume. And then that's all depending on the brand. But it goes through this fermentation process and distillation of the apples that then the flavoring is added, which is the sweetening process that enhances the apple taste and aroma. So because of the sugar content, a lot of times that's why sometimes people get headaches because of the sweetness of it. And depending on the variation that you use, some people will use apple juice or brandies or what have you to make sure that they oh my goodness, where's my lemon? Oh, there's my lemon. That they're able to not get that sugary content. So you do have some options there, just so that y'all know. Now, one of the things for garnish that I'm doing is that I am adding my apples to my lemon juice.
Yeah.
Because that is part of it, is to have the apples in the in apple juice. Oh, excuse me, in lemon juice. And that a lot of others have added the cherries, instead of the apples. So there are a variety of different things that you can do. Now, some of the variations, when you go with the original, it was the vodka and apple juice. That's it, vodka apple juice. But then substituting the sour apple schnapps to the drink made it both sweet and sour elements that made it, kind of fun. You can use gin instead of vodka, and that is another variation. Or you can add gin and vermouth.
Never thought about that. Yeah.
And that makes it a little bit closer to the apple. So it makes it more of a classic martini with a twist because you have the apple in there. And then you can use rum instead of vodka. And then that's a Rumpeltini. And then, of course, you can add the cherry and the apple slices. And none of the recipes have ice in them. So none of them serve it with ice. They are all clean. And I have to grab my glass that's up here that I forgot to take down. So bear with me as I grab my martini glass. Now, one of the things you can do with your martini glass is add ice to it to keep it cold or to make it cold. So you can do that. Just add the ice and it'll, while it sits there, and some places will add ice and water to it to keep it cold. But it's up to you, or you can just throw it in the freezer for a little bit. If I had enough room, when I had enough room in my freezer and I was drinking more martinis, I usually kept a glass in the freezer. I usually kept at least one beer glass and one martini glass in the freezer, so that way I always had a cold glass. So
I used to have same thing. I used to have them. I used to always have a beer glass.
Yeah.
Or two. And I always had a martini glass in the freezer.
So this is what it winds up looking. So
oh, wow.
It's supposed to be cooked Cajun style, but I just added the tahini. So it's cucumber, avocado, and then the shrimp on top. Then I got my nuts and my chips in here. So this is my, and I wanted to go something, even though I have the sweet over here, I'm keeping that on the side. I don't know how much I'm going to like it. Because after all, it's supposed to be a little bit more on the sour side at times, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like it. I added my pretzels. Pretzels, and so I don't know that I'm gonna like the sweetness with the sour portion of the drink. So I'm like, you know what? I'll have them on the side just in case. So I figured I'm gonna make two different ones. I'm going to start with the apple, the Martinelli's, just because, and then I'm going to move to this one to play with it, make it a little different. Now, there are various options that you can go. The one I'm going to go with is going to be the Educated Barfly. So thank you, Educated Barfly. It was his corny dad joke that I did tell at the beginning. So I will give credit where credit is.
We're giving him the credit.
We're giving him the credit. But his is 1.5 ounces of green apple juice, which I was really finding hard to find because the green apple juice is supposed to be a little bit more tart, like a Granny Apple's.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Martinelli's instead. So a little bit of a substitution there. 0.75 ounces of simple syrup, which of course I always keep. And then 0.75 ounces of lemon juice, which I have here and I have in here. And then 1.5 ounces of vodka. And then you're going to use the Granny Smith seeped in lemon and ice to garnish. And then you put everything in the shaker. You shake, shake, shake. You're supposed to double strain it. I forgot my second strainer, so I'm only going to single strain it. But then you garnish with the apple. The other is a sour apple pucker schnapps with Kettle One. Again, shake, put into a martini glass, then garnish with an apple slice. There's also the vodka, the apple schnapps, or the Calvados apple. I have a Calvados lemon. I didn't have the apple, but it's Italian. And then Cointreau mix and pour in a glass, garnish and serve. So there's a variety of different ways that you can make it. So see what you like, play with it. And so that's what I'm going to do today, is play with it.
Yes, Jenny, it is sweet and tart. Trust me, I've been drinking it.
All right. So I did see the citron. So is that lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice?
Oh, no. I'm going to tell you why I got the citron, because I was just going to the liquor store today to get some schnapps, because I don't have schnapps.
Right.
Again, go back to the December of 22 episodes where I got sick onto it.
Right.
All right. And decided to, kind of keep schnapps away. And it wasn't. It was probably the fact that it was like 4-year-old schnapps sitting on my cabinet.
Right.
We won't discuss that, but
Yeah.
I decided to go to the liquor store and pick some up today. I pull up to the liquor store, and their front window ads are for
Citroen. Ciroc. Yeah.
All right, and they had in the window banner. Now these are big, like stick on the window banners. All right, and they have strawberry, pineapple. They had everything but apple on there. Right?
Oh, that's funny.
But I'm wondering if they have an apple, right? So instead of spending $10 on schnapps, I spent $7 to get more vodka.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
They love it,
Sometimes you gotta, and I'm having a trouble here trying to open up my Martinelli's. It's for some reason, it's child-proof apparently.
Of course.
That's just the funniest thing that I'm having.
Well, it's funny that we have to have child-proof things when we're doing Appletinis, because usually I would always think that Appletinis was a teenager drink.
Well, it was. Women do prefer Appletinis. That is one of the things that I was reading, is that it is preferred by women. I've never had an Appletini before, so it's.
Neither have I, but that's what we discussed this. We're going to show. I'm like, we've never done it. Let's try it.
Yeah. There is another one that calls for Kettle One, 1.5 ounces of Kettle One, 0.7 ounces of sour apple liqueur, 0.2 ounces of sugar or simple syrup, and then a total of 0.2 ounces of lime cordial, lemon juice, and lime juice. It's supposed to be a fun and brash. And so that's another option there. So I go with 1.5 here. Oh, I should move my little guy over here so that I don't make as bad of a mess. I love Martinelli's. I mean, have you tried the Martinelli's? They have so many different flavors nowadays.
I have not. No.
Yeah. Then I have my simple syrup, which is 0.7 ounces of simple syrup. Let me look. Yeah, 0.7 ounces of simple syrup. I hope, you know what, I might go with less than 0.7 ounces just because it might be a little too sweet for me since it is Martinelli's.
Jen, it does not shock me that Appletinis and Cosmos were your drink in your 20s. It does not shock me the fact of how much I know
you. That's funny.
She is one of the most fun-loving people. I've never talked to her wife on camera, but I know her wife too and see pictures. She's one of the most fun-loving friends I have in LA.
Oh, very cool.
So I don't even she knows shit like because they went camper lifestyle.
So Amy's, and this is reserve, so Crater Lake Reserve.
Yeah, see, I don't have that. I only have what's left of what you sent me, and I'm hanging on to dear life here, like a lifeboat of good vodka. If you haven't had, I know you guys on the West Coast, go get Crater Lake vodka. It is not available in Texas, and every time I want a bottle, all right, I got to plead, beg, and get on my knees and everything to Gladys to send me a bottle.
Right. So part of the appeal with the Appletini is that it is green. Mine is not because I'm not using the schnapps. If I was using schnapps, then of course it would be green, but I'm not, so therefore it is not. And let me see how my apple fan works here. Well, it's there, but it's too heavy. I didn't make them thin enough. But see, I made my little apple fan. Here is my little Appletini. So it is a little bit on the sweeter side. I would put a little bit more lemon in there, just because it is sweeter. Because I did use the Martinelli's, so that will make a difference. And let's get a picture of this prettiness with Crater Lake on there. So where's your Appletini? I want a picture with. Did you drink it already?
No.
Okay, let's get a picture.
All right, here we go. All right.
So that is pretty yummy. It's not overly sweet. I think a little bit more lemon will give it that tartness. Throwing a cherry in there, I think, would make it a little too sweet for me. But it's not bad. It is not bad. Now I'm going to see how I like it with my little cucumber avocado shrimp.
I just decided to do a search. I'm trying to hard to find it. I should have checked. But how many times Appletini is mentioned in movies or TV show? So on IMDb, the word Appletini is a keyword in a movie or song. I guess it is. I'll See You in My Dreams 2015. Dog Tags 2008. 2.5 Men.
Always.
Will and Grace. 30 Rock. 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men. Community. 2.5 Men. Are you seeing the pattern here?
That is funny.
I'm wondering how many of those mentions in 2.5 Men was Alan. Twitch, we have a friend who was in 2.5 Men. Did you know that?
Who was?
Sandra D.
Oh.
She was in the episode. What was it called? Oh my God. It was like season 5 or 6. I think she was in. And I didn't know who she was until she was speaking at one of my events one time, and her opening clip shows her. Her opening introduction shows her in a clip from 2.5 Men.
Oh, that's funny. And you're like, hey, how come you didn't tell me I had a star on my stage? See, you got world famous people, and you don't even know it. Huh. Okay,
They're all my friends. I don't call them famous.
All right, I'm gonna go cheese.
I'm going to eat my apple slice, truthfully. This drink has got now, and again, the version I did of it had too many apple things. I'm going to try a version with just using regular vodka. It's too much apple. It really is for me. Okay. Way too much apple.
So, did you put lemon juice and the citron? What else did you?
Lemon juice, sour apple schnapps, the apple vodka, and apple juice. So I have way too much apple.
I think I would have kept out the schnapps and the apple juice and just gone with the lemon juice and your already vodka flavored vodka.
I don't. What'd you say? I'm going to do away with the schnapps. You think?
Because it depends on what you want. You want it more sour or more sweet? If you want it less sweet, keep the schnapps, remove the apple juice. If you want it a little bit sweeter, because you're not putting any simple syrup in there, then I would go with the apple juice and cut the schnapps out. That would be my... And sometimes
I'm going to use a little bit of each vodka to see. So I'm kind of dumbing down the vodka. Ooh. Oh, that's like hard to open that one. That Crater Lake doesn't get open that much around my house.
I was trying to figure out where I put my Tito's vodka. I'm like, did I take it home? I don't remember. But I can't find my Tito's, so I had to open this one. I had to open my Crater Lake. I was like,
I'm not putting a lot of ice. I'm just a little because I'm running out of ice already. First time I've run out of ice on a show. Just saying.
But experiment with what you're doing. Find the fun stuff. Find the flavors you prefer. You know, you can always make a half of one, see how you like it, then double it. don't feel that you have to make it exactly.
So this one here is without the schnapps, but it also I diluted it in 2 different vodkas.
Okay.
That's much better, taking the schnapps out.
I had a feeling you would like it without the schnapps.
Okay, Jenny, we won't get too schnockered on air.
We'll try. Well, you know, we don't want to embarrass you.
It's been a long time since I've chatted with Coach Jenny. She's good people. You don't know her, go follow her. Go find out who she is. She is really good people. But a lot of people come to our show are really good people because this is not your show where we're talking about coaching or interviewing people. No, we're talking about drinks. The real star of the show is our drinks.
You know, that cucumber, avocado, shrimp goes just beautifully with this. So I cooked, they were the really big shrimp that have the tail and the head and everything, and clean them off and cook them. If you leave the shell on, they'll be a little bit, they'll be curved, but not as curved. If you remove the shell when you cook them, then they'll curl up a little bit more. So if you want a curled up shrimp, take off the shell.
These are cooked. We get them frozen. These are cooked and then frozen. So all I have to do is basically thaw them out. Yeah.
And so that's how you know the difference between that they're, you know, they're not as curled up.
Yeah.
And so this goes well. And I think in part because what I did is that I did the cucumber, the avocado, I added some tahini, which has some citrus in there, some lime. There's lime in it along with the spices. Then I added a little bit of lemon juice. Then I added the shrimp, added more of the tahini and more lemon juice. So, I mean, I went light with that tahini, but I did put the lemon. So I think because of the citrus, the lemon, the freshness goes very well with the Appletini. Now, usually the apple schnapps are for fall drinks, but this is not. This is a year-round drink, really. But it's more, in my opinion, spring, summer than fall, winter, because it is a cold drink. But really, you can have it at any time of year because during November, there's like a lot of apples are in season. So, you know, you can go with an Appletini then.
We probably should have done it in the fall too because of that.
That is true. And it's a green drink, so you can make a green drink at like so many multiple times during the year.
But I did my Google search for, you know, the best spring cocktails. The number one spring cocktail that came up was an Appletini. Just saying. But
so I'm gonna make my next one. I'm gonna keep my same. Ooh, this does not very cool. There it goes. Gotta tap it a little. I was like, okay, it's being difficult. I might have to squeeze more lemon because I am down to just the perfect amount of lemon. I'm not going to put any simple syrup in this because I am using, this is my simple syrup.
yeah.
So this is all I'm going to be using is this one for this. So no additional on top of that. And this particular one is on the sticky side, y'all. So if you do get a simple syrup, just be careful that, you know, you don't get your bar all sticky.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that. Yes, I'm gonna be like, oh no, I'm gonna use the same glass. Poured that out. Again, this one does not call for any ice in there, but just in here. So I'm gonna mute myself because it gets loud.
Mm-hmm. And there.
And it really only needs about 30 seconds of shake, but I mean, you could do more. It's okay.
Yeah.
Now this one came out, the other one's a little bit more yellow. This one's a little bit more brown, and it's partly because um, of the simple syrup, the wood-fired apples. There's spices in there, which has given it a bit of color. So I'm going to close that off. And then my little apples. So this one, I'm going to get a picture of the Crater Lake. And this one, it's so easy to get sticky. So we're going to have some stickiness going on. I'm going to get this. Ooh, this looks pretty. You know, sometimes to have it do what I want it to do. You know, and you can, oh, there we go. I'm trying to get the like the way you drink in the back while we're getting our, there you go. I think I like that one. We're a little on the blurry side, but that's okay because, I think this is my favorite one.
Oh, yeah.
I will be posting these, y'all, because some of these are just fun to look at after the fact. So that way you can see, hey, you know, this is what it's supposed to look like. Oh, wow. Ooh. Okay. So this one, it's got a little bit more of that puckery. Like, whoa, it's not as sweet. And I like that. It was just the lemon juice, the simple syrup, and the Crater Lake vodka. It's got a little bit more depth. In part is because this does have a smoked apple and spices. So it's got a little bit more of a kick. So it's got, I think this is the adult version of the Appletini. I know the grown-up version. This is yum. I can't complain about this.
Again, saying the grown-up version makes me again think that this drink is a teenager drink.
Hence why we're making it into different glasses.
We do not encourage underage drinking. Record.
That is very true. We always talk about that. But I love your glass. That's a fun glass. That is a martini glass. It just doesn't have the stem. It's kind of like the stemless.
Yeah, we have a set of 4 of these in the house.
I love those. I happen to have this one. My other one broke. I was transporting it back and forth, and oops. But I love that.
I've had more of them than you want to know that I've broken the stem off of.
So you said I'm going to get some without the stem?
So I come up with a plan. Buy them without the stem. Anyway.
Wow. With the chips, it's really good. I'm going to go with cheese. See how I like it with cheese? Oh, wow. The cheddar cheese really brings out that sour side, but in a good way. It's that depth of flavor. It brings out the spices. So it brings out that sour and the spice. So I get to taste more of the apple and the spices with this particular one. So now I'm going to go with the shrimp. I'm making such a mess.
Mm-hmm.
With that, the lemony comes out a little bit more, but the spices are still there. This one is, I really like this. This is yummy. So this particular Meadowland simple syrup, it is from Bend, Oregon. I think I brought it out a year ago, maybe, or a year and a half ago. I know that I've used it before for something. I think it was like a fall because I picked it up after my Columbia Gorge half.
Yeah.
And it had to have been in October of 2022. So I've had it for a while. It keeps. It really does keep. It's brown cane sugar, apple juice, smoked apples, cinnamon, cloves, orange extract, cream of tartar. It's Meadowland LLC, crafted in Bend, Oregon. I picked it up in Hood River after a race because one of the distilleries there had it, and I had to try it. But it's crisp autumn apples, truly. But not so much the cinnamon, but I think the cloves really come out. So this is they suggest putting it in your evening tea or with a whiskey cocktail. I think I made an old fashioned with this. I think that's what I did,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. But it is absolutely lovely in the Appletini. I cannot complain about this. So thank you so much, Meadowland, for making something that I went, ooh, I like this. So let me see my apple. I'm going to have my part of my apple with it. Oh, yeah, the spices come out.
Good.
So you get the sour of the apple that's been soaking in lemon juice, and the spices of the simple syrup. Or, well, I guess it is a flavored simple syrup. It's not that simple, but it was really yummy. So I think this is a great combination. This one I think flavors better with my my little appetizers here.
Well, that's always good.
How did you like your appetizers with your drink?
They all went very, very well with it. So much that I cleaned up. But when you're having snacks and drinking and hanging out with a friend, that's life. That's the great life, man.
Yeah.
I kind of encourage you guys to do that with us every week. Kind of grab some snacks. All right, maybe if you have stuff on your bar to make the drink we're making that week. But go grab some snacks from your freezer, from your, always have something to do. There's certain things I believe that you should always have in your house. Is you should have something in the freezer that you can always cook up as an appetizer.
Yep.
All right. You should always have stuff to make your drinks. You should always have a bottle of champagne chilled in your house at all times. I don't make these rules up. I just follow them. Right?
Yeah, because you never know when a celebration comes up.
That's right. And the last thing you want to do when a celebration goes up, I have to drive 10 miles to get a bottle of champagne. So,
oh my goodness. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, y'all.
and she sneezes it out. There it goes.
That was the chip. That was those, oh my goodness, those Guinness chips.
Mm-hmm.
Sean did not like them. He's like, he tasted it and he's all, I don't like it. So I went in, got some Lay's chips, and I go, here, get the taste out of your mouth. It goes well with this. It's an interesting flavor. It's almost like they were trying to do barbecue, but they put the beer in the barbecue.
Hey, maybe it's about time we do a barbecue episode.
Is that a summer thing? I think that might be summer over spring.
I think that's Memorial Day this year. A barbecue where I actually have to smoke ribs all day long. Yeah.
We did do something last year, though. Barbecue-esque.
Yeah, we did.
But I don't remember exactly. We'd have to go back. You know what, y'all? We do different things.
101 episodes. We've done a lot.
We don't always remember what we do. Sometimes we remember, I think we've done something. But we try to bring, good information. We try to share history. We try to share recipes. We try to share ideas that hopefully you come up with some ideas or things that you're like, oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just finding out the history of the Appletini, that was fun. Going, okay, what's the history, and having it go back, it's that's kind of fun, that it was all Smirnoff that first came of it, and then 1997, I was still in LA during that time, so I do remember the Appletini, but I never realized that it had just been a thing that was like starting to become mainstream so quickly.
Well, I recall the Appletini. It wasn't mentioned in our list of IMDb, but I remember it in the movie The Social Network. Because it was used when when Justin Timberlake's character meets them in New York. He asks the girl, "What are you drinking?" And she says, "An Appletini." And he turns to the server and says, "Appletinis for all around."
Yeah.
And I think he had an Appletini when they were meeting in San Francisco in a club. And he changed it and moved to a different bottle. I think an aged bottle of scotch or an aged bottle of tequila. I'm gonna have to go look that up because now we're gonna have to find that bottle of tequila or whatever and get it. Yeah.
And hopefully it's not $1,000.
Yeah, I hope it's not. Yeah. Because like last week we were doing Angel's Envy, and I go to lunch after my one networking meeting on Thursdays, and the bar there, they have Angel's Envy rye. I usually don't get it, but I was like, I'm gonna do an Angel's Envy rye. And then I look at my lunch bill. Usually there, my lunch bill's $20 because it's a cheap place. Yeah. And like my lunch bill is almost $40. And I'm like, what the heck? That's because the shot of Angel's Envy rye was $25.
I was close. I said 26. I was $1 off.
$25 for a shot of Angel's Envy rye in a bar.
Yeah, one time I got the blue, Johnny Walker Blue.
Yeah.
$30. $30 for a shot. And then when I went back, I was at the bar and I was about to pay, and the guy's random guy, rando. He's all, "What are you drinking?" And I said, "You can't afford me." And he's all, "Oh yeah, I'll get it for you." I said, "My shot of Johnny Walker Blue is $30. He's all, "Oh yeah, no." And I was like, "Dude, you can't afford me."
Maybe that's an episode we need to do. Is drinks you don't buy to pick up a woman.
I don't know what that would be. You're going to have to help me on that one. I'll ask Sean.
No, I want you to think about that concept, because you and I, all right, imagine I was a girl and the two of us are in a bar, all right, and the drinks that you and I are going to have, and the guys are going to come up and go, "Well, hey, I'll buy your drink." And we got to go, and you and I have to go, "Well, wait a minute. Before you do that, our drinks aren't cheap."
Right?
That's what I mean. A drink that you don't buy.
So you mean an upscale drink, something that you're like,
yeah, I don't know if I want to try to impress you.
That much.
That much, yeah. I don't know if you're quite I don't know if I can afford to be your type. It's what it really is. Yeah.
So I might have to go out and get. I know the drink, which I will say Sean has gotten for me.
Well, Sean's dating you. It's a different story than me trying to pick you up in a bar. Think about it.
Yes, but I don't think that he would spend that kind of money if it was like you're trying to pick up somebody.
I wouldn't, because I'm a cheap date.
No, you're a cheap bastard. You're not a cheap date. You're
just saying.
And so I might go with that. Jimmy Walker Blue's another. Yeah. Oh, I froze. Oh, there I am. I know. And I froze at a funky angle too, because I was like, I wasn't even, looking all sexy, and I wasn't voting, we might have to do that, y'all. As we've asked before, if you have ideas on things you want to see on the show, let us know. One of my friends gave an option, and I happened to have gone to his office because we were having a meeting there. I'm part of Rotary. We're having our Heart of Gold this Thursday. Wilsonville Heart, if you want to get a $50 raffle ticket, tickets to go to Vegas, see a Cirque show, and $1,000 cash. Just saying. So we went to his office for a meeting, and he had, and I can't remember what it is, but if you watch The Bear on Netflix, the first episode will show more. It's a drink. there's a billboard, and I can't remember what it is. And so it was there at the office, and I went, oh, I got to try it. You've talked about it, and we were going to put it on the show. Let me try it. Oh, my goodness. I was like, I cannot swallow this. It was bad, bad, bad. I'm like, I cannot drink this. So I had to throw it out. I said, dude, and he was laughing, and he goes, yeah, that's the joke piece of the bar. So I'm like, okay, what good shit do you have? So I had to pull something good I had to go rinse out my mouth and rinse out my glass, and I got something good. If we've had it, we know it's horrible. Sorry, we won't do it. But if it's something we haven't tried, you know what?
The Appletini, which we tried tonight. I'm probably not going to have Appletinis at my house.
I might have to send you one.
No, it's not a bad drink. It's not something I would drink every day. Well, yeah, if I had Crater Lake vodka, I'd drink that by itself. Come on. I'll put that in my Dr. Pepper.
It would probably make it taste even better.
Just saying. So.
Oh, what is this about the Insiders Club? Tell me more.
So we have an Insiders Club because, you know what I mean? We actually want to get your ideas for what we want. The Insiders get to direct where we go. They also get to have private tastings with us. So I was just talking to a friend of mine. He actually, you can look him up at whiskeyweightloss.com. His name is Alex, and he does a thing called Whiskey Weight Loss. We're going to have him on the show eventually. But, you know, how would you like to do a private tasting with us and Alex? He does private tasting.
Nice. That is amazing. That'll be fun. I had somebody this weekend that tried my Lady Gin, and they're like, where do I get this? I said, you can't get this.
You got to be on the Insiders Club.
So I'm like, you got to be part of the Insiders Club. And he's all, how do I do that? And I told him, go to Like the Way You Drink and sign up. And you'll have the opportunity of getting the Lady Gin after a little taster. You know, I'm like a pusher. Here's the first taste is free.
The first taste is always free. The first hit's always free, man.
Hook them and
yeah.
Reel them in.
How do you think Gladys got me to do a podcast with it? Yep. She got me to taste good vodka, and I was like, okay, I'm in.
Good vodka, good whiskey. Showed them that there is more to whiskey than just whiskey, more than just Jim Beam.
Hey, for the record, though, I'm not a guy who only drank Jack Daniels when you met me.
True story on that. True story.
I had a little bit more than that on my bar.
Yes, that's a good thing. That's why I appreciated you, because otherwise, man, I would have been like, sorry, man, you're out. You can't afford me.
Yeah. So.
But yes, go to likethewayyoudrink.com, sign up, join. It's free to join, and you will be notified of all the fun stuff we'll be doing. So it's good stuff. Good stuff.
So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you every week by Gladys and I. Our businesses pay for the expenses to run the show. Thus, we are sponsors of the show. If you'd like to sponsor the show, go to likethewayyoudrink.com and actually become a sponsor of the show. If you have an alcohol, all right, you have a mixer, all right, you have a recipe, your business wants to sponsor the show, we're looking for sponsors too as well, all right, and get your ad put on every week like Gladys and I do. Go to likethewayyoudrink.com, fill out the Insiders Club, all right, or send us a message, either Tim or Gladys at likethewayyoudrink.com. Both of those email addresses go to our email. So each week we're going to do our commercial spots. Gladys is always first because she's the lady of the show. So Gladys, tell us about your business.
I am Gladys Boutwell with Insurance by Design. I help employers become the employer of choice by providing employee benefits. There's 101 different ways to attract and retain quality staff. My book is coming up. I will be advising once it's kind of out there. I want to get it to number 1 on Amazon, so I'm going to hold off before I tell you where to go get it. But there is somebody that already got on my calendar. We'll be talking about, hey, what are your pain points? How can I help you, guide you as to what you can do with your staff to get them engaged, to retain quality staff, and to attract quality staff? So go to Insurance Design Pros. On the upper left-hand corner, you can download the white paper that is associated with this book, or you can go to enrollnoworegon.com, and that takes you directly to my calendar so that you can book a no cost to you consultation so that I can guide you and help you through your staffing issues. And I will pass it over to my co-host, Tim.
Yeah, that's me. I do simple, easy websites. Nothing complicated. Just websites, simple, easy. Think about it. Your customers come to, or your potential customers coming to your website. All right. Do you want them to go through a complicated maze to find out about how to connect with you? No. Marketing should be simple and easy for your customers to find you, get to know you, and buy from you faster. That's what we do with websites, ladies and gentlemen. We actually create your website so the customers that stop on your website will actually do what you want to do. They will book a call with you. They will actually buy a product from you. They will download a free report from you. They are there, and you are actually using your website to get them to do what you want them to do to join and get started in the sales funnel for you. Go to simpleasywebsites.com. Check us out today. Let us know how we can help you. Other than that.
Thank you very much. I have my the jefas. I always have to look up limitless, sin límites, no limits. This lipstick is going to last me a long, long time. It's my taco proof. Apparently, it is martini proof. My glass has nothing on it to show that my lips have been on it.
But every guy in the bar wants to know if it's kiss proof. Do you remember the movie What Women Want, where he says, "How about a lipstick that doesn't stain a guy's collar?"
I'm not a big fan of chick flicks. I will watch one here and there. That might be one I'll have to put on the list. What Women Want.
That was
I'll
cool.
check it out. I'll have to look it up. It'll be my weekend movie.
Oh, well. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, we're going to be back next week with another fun episode. Episode 101 is in the books. All right. Go have your Appletinis. Go have your appetizers and enjoy. Tim and Gladys are going to be out. We will see you guys next week. Cheers.
Y'all.